Have you ever paused to consider the transient nature of your life on earth? What if everything we accumulate, all the goals we chase, and all the accomplishments we achieve are not the ultimate purpose of our existence? What if our time here is merely a fleeting moment, and our true home lies in a destination far beyond what we can see or understand? The idea of being temporary residents on earth invites us to reflect on our lives from a perspective that transcends material concerns and worldly achievements. It challenges us to focus on eternal values and the greater spiritual purpose of our journey. In this video, we will explore the concept of temporary residency on earth, the idea that our true identity is found beyond our earthly existence, and the deeper purpose that drives us as we navigate life's challenges. Through the lens of faith and eternal hope, we can live with intention and purpose, embracing the call to serve others and to reflect God's love. Temporary residency on earth, a fleeting existence with a greater purpose. What does it mean to be a temporary resident on earth? Imagine for a moment that your time in this world is not permanent. You are just passing through, like a visitor who knows they have a destination beyond the physical realm. This concept challenges the way we typically view life, which often centers on accumulating wealth, building success, and leaving a lasting legacy in the material world. But what if those pursuits are only temporary? What if the true measure of our lives is not in what we accumulate here, but in the way we align ourselves with something greater? As temporary residents, we are encouraged to shift our focus away from fleeting pleasures and materialistic goals, and instead to center our lives around spiritual values. This mindset allows us to understand that our time on earth is a precious opportunity for growth, service, and transformation. But it is not the final chapter of our existence. Our true home lies beyond this world, in a heavenly, eternal destination with God. This perspective helps us prioritize what truly matters in life. It encourages us to ask ourselves profound questions. Are we living for eternal values, or are we focused on the things that are temporary? Are we cultivating relationships that will last forever, or are we seeking recognition and success that will fade with time? Understanding our temporary residency on earth gives us the opportunity to live with a sense of purpose, knowing that our time here is brief, and that we are called to something much greater, identity beyond earthly existence. Our eternal connection with God, Peter's letter to Christians facing persecution, is a poignant reminder that our true identity is not defined by the world around us, but by our eternal connection with God. In the face of adversity, the early Christians were encouraged to hold on to the truth that their identity was not rooted in earthly circumstances, but in their relationship with the divine. Similarly, we too are called to remember that our true identity is not bound by material possessions, social status, or the transient nature of earthly life. This truth is empowering, especially when we face challenges or moments of isolation. For the chosen ones, this realization brings a sense of belonging that transcends geographical and cultural boundaries. It's a reminder that, as believers, our community to the earthly realm. Instead, we are connected to a global and eternal family, bound together by our shared faith in God. Our identity is found in our relationship with Him, and this connection remains unshakable, regardless of the difficulties we face in the physical world. This higher identity brings comfort in times of struggle, offering the assurance that no matter how isolated or persecuted we may feel, we are never truly alone. Our ultimate belonging is in God's eternal family, and this spiritual connection provides a sense of security and hope, even when the world around us seems uncertain. Hope and eternal purpose. The living hope that sustains us. Peter speaks of a living hope that sustains believers throughout their journey. This hope is not just a vague wish for a better future. It is a confident assurance in God's eternal promises. In the face of life's challenges, this living hope offers courage, resilience, and strength. It reminds us that while the difficulties we encounter on earth may feel overwhelming, they are temporary, and our ultimate destiny lies in eternal life with God. The living hope is the cornerstone of Christian faith. It gives us the confidence to face adversity, knowing that our struggles are not in vain, and that they will ultimately lead to a greater purpose. This hope also helps us to see life's challenges from a broader perspective. What may seem like a hardship or setback in the present is, in the grand scheme of eternity, part of God's greater plan. Living with this hope encourages us to live with perseverance, even when the world around us is filled with turmoil. It helps us hold on to the truth that our time on earth is brief and that our heavenly home awaits us. This eternal perspective gives us the strength to continue striving for a life of purpose, faith, and love, even in the face of trials. Chosen for a higher calling. Embracing a life of responsibility and service. To be chosen is not just a privilege. It is a call to live with a sense of responsibility and purpose. Being chosen means embracing a life of faith, commitment, and service. It is a call to align our lives with God's will and to reflect His love, peace, and justice through our actions. When we understand that we are chosen, it changes the way we view our lives. We are no longer driven solely by personal ambitions or desires, but by a higher calling that compels us to live with intention. The chosen ones are called to serve others, to share God's love, and to be instruments of change in a world that desperately needs it. Living with purpose means recognizing that everything we do, whether big or small, has eternal significance. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every moment of service reflects God's love and contributes to the greater good. The chosen ones are not called to live for themselves, but to live for others, always seeking to fulfill God's divine purpose in the world. Living with purpose, the call to intentionally live out God's will, understanding our temporary residency on earth, encourages us to live with intention and purpose. If our time here is limited, then every action, word, and relationship becomes an opportunity to reflect God's love and fulfill His purpose for our lives. Living with purpose involves finding meaning beyond material success. It means asking ourselves, how are we serving others? How are we contributing to a greater good? It challenges us to prioritize relationships, acts of kindness and faithfulness over personal achievements or accolades. By aligning our daily lives with God's will, we can live with a sense of fulfillment that transcends the temporary pleasures of the world. The chosen ones understand that their purpose is not to accumulate wealth or fame, but to serve others and reflect God's character. Every moment becomes an opportunity to choose purpose over distraction, to choose service over selfishness, and to choose love over indifference. This intentional living shapes not only our present reality, but also our eternal legacy. Spiritual transformation and sanctification, a call to purity and holiness. The act of being chosen is not only about responsibility. It also involves spiritual transformation. The sprinkling of Christ's blood symbolizes purification and a deep, unbreakable bond with God. Through this transformation, we are sanctified, set apart for a divine purpose that aligns with God's will. This ongoing sanctification process calls for growth in faith, holiness, and character. As chosen ones, we are called to reflect God's divine nature in our lives, becoming more like Christ in our thoughts, words, and actions. This process of transformation is not immediate. It is a lifelong journey that requires dedication, perseverance, and humility. Living as a heavenly priesthood involves continuous growth, embracing God's refining work in our lives. It calls us to live with integrity, to serve others selflessly, and to embody the light of Christ in every area of our lives. It is not about status or recognition, but about reflecting God's unconditional love and demonstrating His faithfulness to the world around us. Perspective on life's challenges. Viewing life in light of eternity, one of the most powerful aspects of living as a temporary resident is the ability to view life's challenges through the lens of eternity. When we understand that our time on earth is brief and that our true home lies in eternity, it changes the way we approach life's difficulties. Whether we face trials, struggles, or triumphs, we can approach each challenge with the understanding that it is part of God's greater plan. Life becomes a preparation for something greater, and every hardship is an opportunity for growth and transformation. In this way, we can approach life with a sense of peace, knowing that our struggles are not in vain and that they will ultimately lead to eternal rewards. This eternal perspective allows us to embrace life's challenges with resilience and hope, knowing that the trials we face today are shaping us for a greater purpose. Our time on earth may be short, but our eternal impact is lasting. Legacy and eternal impact. Living to leave a lasting mark, our worth is not defined by material success or recognition, but by the legacy of love, faith, and impact we leave behind. The life of a chosen one is marked by the desire to build a legacy that reflects eternal values: love, kindness, service, and faith. Living with purpose means living in a way that leaves a positive impact on the world. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the divine mission of reflecting God's love and truth. By choosing to live with compassion, integrity, and service, we build a legacy that transcends earthly recognition and lives on in eternity. Living with divine hope, finding peace in the eternal promise. The living hope that Peter speaks of provides a sense of peace and purpose in our lives. It reminds us that our time on earth is not an end, but a preparation for something much greater. This eternal hope encourages us to seek God's approval rather than the fleeting approval of the world. Living with divine hope gives us the strength to endure life's challenges, the courage to live with purpose, and the assurance that our lives have eternal significance. It is this hope that sustains us, guiding us through difficult times and leading us toward the greater purpose for which we were created.